Thank you for having me.
Wow. So I'd like to start, if that's all right, by asking, what is the organization that you work for?
Okay, so, well, at first when we started, it was Dyslexia Malawi.
Yeah.
But then, we can't use the Malawi name attached to any organization. Like, you have to go through a process to use the word Malawi because it's a country. So yeah, protection and everything. So we had to change it to Able Foundation. That's why if you see our Facebook page, it will be Dyslexia Malawi Able Foundation or Able Foundation Dyslexia Malawi.
Yeah.
It's more like a long process to go through it. So you might as well change the name and avoid the restrictions and everything. But well, for me, it was still important to still keep the Malawi name on it because we couldn't find any information about dyslexia in Malawi. So I thought if you Google Malawi and if you Google anything about dyslexia, you won't find any information. So let's keep it that way. At least if someone tries to find any information about dyslexia, something will come up. That's why we kept it that way.
So do you think there's a lack of dyslexia awareness in Malawi?
Well, you get some people who have been working with special needs. They will tell you that we've been doing it for a while, but there is no evidence. I mean, if you Google anything and you don't find any information, like how do you convince people that you've been doing it?
Yeah.
That, as far as I'm concerned, I think we are the first organization to really start raising the awareness of dyslexia in Malawi.
Yeah, you raised the issue at the very least.
Yes.
So as you were the first, or probably the first, or as far as we can see, you were the first, because I've checked as well, and I think you were the first. As you were the first, what sort of challenges did you face?
Oh, a lot. I don't even know where to start because, first of all, a lot of people don't even know what dyslexia is.
Right.
Secondly, in most of not most, because I think there are 2 or 3 colleges like that they teach about special needs. So for them, when they say special needs, it's everything in general. So you're talking of autism, ADHD, and all those things. Teachers don't know anything about dyslexia, let alone the community. Parents wouldn't even know about dyslexia. I would say maybe 2% of Malawi knows about dyslexia. So that's why for us, raising awareness is like our main goal, like to really go out there in schools with the teachers, with the parents, with the community to raise the awareness of dyslexia in Malawi.
And you say when you have special needs teachers, special needs is counted as dyslexia, ADHD, autism. Is it also counted as other learning difficulties and learning disabilities? So does it spread out even into forms of I don't know, forms of, for instance, mental head trauma or mental illnesses?
Yeah, it is actually spread out, but it's one of those that they haven't really pushed it in schools. Okay, so if you're talking of mental health, obviously that will be like a psychologist doing those things, but not like with the special needs teachers. So what I've seen is like a lot of special needs teachers, they have to find their own way to get to know about these things rather than them are doing it in school, because in school maybe they'll learn a bit about it, or it'll be one of those topics, but then they won't go in details. So they have no idea what mental health is, or what dyslexia is, what ADHD is. So it's more like psychologist work or occupational therapist work. Or who else is there? Counselors and all those, doctors. get to know that. But then with the teachers, it's more like you have to do it on your own. Like you have to research, or you have to do extra trainings to get to know about mental health and all that.
So what problems have you had making schools aware and receptive about dyslexia issues? So if only like 2% of the population really knows much about dyslexia, that the training that's given is not really focused on dyslexia, how do you then spread this message into schools?
Well, you just have to visit schools and talk to the teachers about it. Make sure you provide necessary resources for them. In Malawi, with the schools, you have like a zone whereby you have like 16 to 20 schools. So in those 16 to 20 schools, you have one special needs teacher. So before you go to the schools, or before you go to the area where you're thinking you want to raise the awareness, you have to speak to that special educator that you're coming there. So she will tell you, or he will tell you, how many teachers are there. So you have to provide the resources, whether books, handouts, whatever you're thinking of giving them to raise awareness. Even for us, we have to do the printouts, like we do the notes for them. Yeah. We do movies for them, like just to show them, for them to understand what the special needs is all about, or what dyslexia is all about. So yeah, it's more like the organization doing it, or we are more like helping the government to reach out. So you have to print out notes and books and anything that they can read, so that they can help they can help themselves and schools and children and all that.
And do you produce this information? Does the Able Foundation produce this information, or do you get it from outside sources?
We do. It's even things that we get on the internet, things that we learn, things that we're still learning. So whatever we're learning, so for example, I'm in a lot of groups where I'm learning things. So if I see like this is very important or very useful for the teachers in Malawi, so I'll print that out and make a booklet. And then next time I visit them, I will talk about that with them, we'll chat with them, and then distribute those things so that they can also read, and then they'll help themselves.
Mm-hmm. And you say there's very low awareness of dyslexia. How would people in Malawi describe dyslexia? What would they say dyslexia is?
Okay. Yes. So I'm saying a lot of people, they always say dyslexic are lazy, or whatever they might want. Yeah. But to me, I think it's the dumbness. Because you see a kid who's not doing well in class, the first thing that will come to your mind will be like, oh, that kid is dumb. Oh, that kid can't read or can't spell. Yeah. So I think a lot of Malawians, they'll say dyslexic are dumb, not lazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And how does the Able Foundation describe dyslexia?
Well,
or do you have one description?
Our motto. Our motto is every child is unique. Yeah. So for us, because we're not just advocating on dyslexia as in something that we've learned in school or something that we've read in books, it's something that's close to us. Yeah. So like I know a lot of dyslexic people. My niece is dyslexic. You can't compare a child like your child with someone's child. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Yeah. The only problem that I think a lot of us has gone through is because we didn't know about it. Like if we had known maybe at an early stage that would be, another case. But like, especially with my niece, we knew when she was 11, and that was already too late for us to really do anything about it. But then if you meet someone who's got a child at 5 or 6 years old, and then you see their work, and then you kind of like, there might be some dyslexia in that child. Maybe you should do this and that and that. Then it works better that way. Yeah. So for us, dyslexia is unique. I mean, every person is unique. Every person has got different gifts and different ways of doing things. Same with dyslexia. Yeah.
Yeah. And how has the government reacted? So you said in a way you're kind of doing the government's work for them. Are the government or the local education authorities or local government organizations, are they sort of friendly towards you? Do they support you, or what's the relationship?
Well, they do. The thing is, we have a lot of special needs organizations, and we have just started. I think they're a year plus with some months, but we've been to government offices. We've introduced ourselves. They've supported us. They've given us papers to work with them. But one of the ideas that they bought into to say, this is a great initiative, go ahead, and if you need any help, we're here to help.
That's great. That's great. And how have the dyslexic children responded? Have they responded positively? Or is there some stigma, or do they reject the label, or what's the response?
I think because a lot of people didn't know about it, so we can't really say how people will respond to that. But I think after the awareness, people will really understand what it is, and especially parents. With the children, I don't think it's a problem because they don't see it as a problem. But with the parents and the teachers, they're the ones who see like, oh, this child has got a problem, or this child is failing in this area, So the more we talk to parents, the more they understand. Like, so yeah, children, well, they don't even know. I'm sure even if you say you're dyslexic, they wonder like, what are they talking about? But when you speak to the teachers and you speak to the parents, they do understand them. And then they are able to like, okay, now we know what to do, and now we know how we can help our child.
Yeah. Can I ask about you specifically? You have a specific role as a global goodwill ambassador. Could you say a little bit about that, please?
Well, it started because of what I do. So like I try to do anything that is there to help other people. So something with the Dyslexia Foundation, and I've done quite a number of things with different organizations. Like I've worked with a friend who has an organization that looks after premature children. I've worked with Koala Health Media. They're doing, they help women with cervical cancer in north of Malawi. And I've worked. I still do work with an organization that is German based. And it's from the north of Malawi as well, in Zuzu. From there, that's where I got the global ambassador to contribute to the underprivileged people. So I've done quite a lot.
You're bringing a lot of people together by the sounds of it. You are the needle in the thread of the world.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Have you seen much change in the time that you've been working in this area?
Yeah, actually I have. I think it's one of those things but when you're not doing it, you don't know whether people are getting it or not. But then after you start talking to people, and then you get the feedback to say, oh, I've heard about your organization. Oh, I've heard about you there. At least speak about or advocate about. And so I think bit by bit change is there. And I know it's going to take time, but at least there's a word there's a word out there that you
Yeah.
know people are getting that something is happening. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wonderful. Look,
Yeah.
thank you very much indeed. And also, before we finish, I have
Yes.
deliberately not said your name because I don't say people's names usually. But would you like to introduce yourself? I mean, also, I'm not certain I pronounce it correctly. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay. No, that's fine, especially with my name. I know a lot of people, even here in Malawi, they struggle like, what? What is that? Yes. So it's okay. I understand.
Is it
So my name
Jiranji?
is
Jiranji?
Geran. Yes, Geranji.
Jiranji.
Geranji Kamfose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Jiranji. This has been really,
No,
really
that's
interesting.
fine.
And also, if I can say, it's not only interesting, I genuinely mean this. I feel very, very privileged to speak to people like you. The work you're doing is unbelievable. And so, yeah, without people like you, there would be very little awareness around the world. So thank you, really, thank you for the work you're doing. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
Brilliant.